मैं तो सही किया हूँ। हो नहीं रहा है, क्यों नहीं शो हो रहा है? हो गया हो गया। हाँ, करो।
Progressing with the seminar. A keynote address in seminars is a talk that sways, rejuvenates, ignites, and emancipates the audience, which entails a versatile person to speak and sets the stage for everything to come. And we have one such personage present among us. Our guest of honor, notable Dr. Ravinder Singh Zandu, a civil servant, consulting technical architect with Cabinet Office, Central Digital and Data Office, London, with more than 2 decades of work experience in the field of digital consulting, transformation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, and myriad of other sectors. He has also volunteered to do philanthropy for tsunami population in 2004, rescued old and helpless human race stuck in abject poverty during COVID-19 pandemic by providing free food and other basic provisions. Besides, he also organizes civil marriages at Guru Nanak Satsang Sabha, formed in Maidenhead, United Kingdom. This list doesn't end here. He has a plethora of other engagements to his credit, reputed as his free will offerings for the amelioration of the community, which makes it difficult for me to put his accomplishments into words. Hence, without taking too long, I request Dr. Ravinder Singh Zandu solemnly to deliver keynote address. Sir, please.
Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Kamal sir, who is my professor from Computer Engineering College. So I was here for my annual leave, and he got in touch. He said there is a seminar, and I always like to share my knowledge, experience with young students, so that I can motivate some of you to excel in your career. Now I start with one thing is whether we are going for business intelligence, AI, machine learning, computer science, whichever field you go, try to excel in that, be a leader in that. I had worked here in CDAC Mohali for 12, 15 years, 12 years before moving to UK on since last 4 years I am with UK Civil Services. And before that I worked with large scale consultancies, Accenture, banks, JP Morgan, HSBC, and others. No, one thing is that if you think what you want to achieve, you can do that. So I will touch upon those things in between. So the topic or the theme of the seminar is business intelligence and artificial intelligence. So everyone has known that everyone knows that during test that when the machine so when we think that artificial intelligence has overtaken the human thinking, when machine can talk to a human without interference and without any context and still answer. Siri is giving you answer or Alexa is giving you answer which are pre-programmed. It still doesn't have that much thinking power in it. So when the machine starts giving you answer and you cannot think that the response is coming from a machine or a human, that's Alan Turing said, that's when the machine has surpassed human. And no machine till date has passed the test. Fortunately or unfortunately, whatever you want to say. Because then machine may take over the world, as some fictional movies show. So I have taken this topic because data has become kind of a new oil or new water in the world. It's every organization has used data. Governments have, private organizations have. And that's where we always say, these are the new fields which have come up. You may have heard of them, you have worked in them. AI machine learning at the forefront. It's not a new thing. It was from 70s, it is coming up, 80s, 90s also. Rule of list was there. But because machines didn't have the computing power, and it was expensive to have the large-scale computing power, high-performance computing or GPUs, it didn't pick up, and the data was not too large at that point of time, so that I couldn't form the rules or for machines to interact. So if I have to do analysis, I need to form some rules, some laws, which machine can follow and give you answer. So, but nowadays the machines have got that power, and machines are slightly cheaper than earlier. So that's why this field has come up very quickly nowadays and growing. And for the next 5 to 10 years, this may be our field to work on. Technology changes fast, I cannot predict that much, but next 5 years at least, data, machine learning, automation, Internet of Things will be growing very, very fast. Augmented and virtual reality along with it. Virtual reality, everyone has known. What is augmented reality? Augmented reality is where you have something, there is a textbook, and I can hover over that, any equipment, and it will show me a live picture of that. That if there is a picture of, let's say, butterflies, I'm teaching a student, and if an iPad or an iPhone or a phone is hovered over it with camera, it will show the children that the butterflies are flying. Right? So that's where the augmented reality can work. You can search for that. Huge work is going on in US, Canada, UK, other countries. Virtual reality is of course creating a virtual rooms, virtual things which you might have seen in 3D Studio creating those things. Blockchain, of course, you have seen the cryptocurrency growing up very, very fast nowadays. Geospatial technology, again, GPS systems with 3D technologies, with GPUs coming into play. Quantum computing, which is again high performance computing to assist the machine learning. They are available. Google has come up with a quantum computer, but not in kind of at the moment in actual trading or actual retail, but they have started coming up and manufacture that. So how do we move from BI to AI? I don't know, it's a busy slide, so much of text. I normally don't put too much text on a slide, but I could not do justice if I had not put this. BI to AI, I'm not going to read each and every point of it, but the business intelligence means you are using a similar data mining, data warehousing, data searching algorithms. The main challenge or main things comes into play is both have statistical analysis. One is focused more on the past data. So business intelligence is based on the data and the past data and giving you some dashboards based on that past data. That okay, you have performed like this. Your revenue was this, profit was this, loss was this, and whatever. Right? Electricity consumption, expenses. So it gives you that past, based on the past data, business intelligence will give you something for decision making. But humans have to interfere for making the decisions. But artificial intelligence is predicting the future. So that's the difference between the two. Nothing much, but only thing is in one, you have a human interaction to take the decision. In another is machine is taking the decisions. A machine is helping you to take the decision. So what it can do is it can do the trend analysis, it can do the future predictive analysis. So that's where the artificial intelligence comes. So machine will learn from the data and may give you 3 or 4 options, and then finally a human can decide which way to go. So it will assist you in taking the future decisions. Tools may be similar in both. In one, there may be predictive analysis, other is descriptive analysis. So that's where the two differences comes. So both are assisting the business or the government to take decisions, but one is from the past, giving you past data, one is giving you the future. And machine is assisting to move towards the future. Very simple term if I have to explain. So data analytics to data science. If I can tell you that in UK also, in all other countries also, people are talking of data scientists now. They have the same skills. It's a data analytics field. But the only thing is data scientists will again help you predict future. Like you can see the voting analysis or psychological analysis people do. That okay, I have done the survey, this is what can be possible. But it again depends on the sampling size. So if I say, we always say in data science or statistical analysis, one of my teachers in statistics, they say data always lie. Data can lie. It is how you present the data to the people. Right? Just to give you an example to justify, let's say senior official or a minister goes to a school, the school says there is a 100% jump in our intake from previous year. So they have hidden the data behind it. So 100% jump, there was one student earlier, now there are 2 students in the school. So how you put the data in front of anyone, you can always lie. if you want to. And that's why you have to be very, very careful while reading the data, while reading the trends. You must know what is the background to it, what kind of sample was there. If I had done a sample of, okay, voting, I am giving the voting trend, this party will win. Say the Punjab people have voted in the same way. I have to go to each and every district, each and every village to have some sample from that, and then maybe my result or prediction may be better. So it's always how I want to sway the analysis, right? So don't be too much judgmental on the analysis which are given by the news channels or something, because you are not knowing what's the sample size. So that's where we say data scientist will help you. He helps you to develop, he or she will help you to develop algorithms, models, the learning systems which can predict the future. Again, data analytics, data science and big data. Just giving you some data. I'm going to provide you the slides, don't worry about that. So I will share the slides with, and they can share it with every one of you. There's nothing I have to hide anything. So there are different tools in each area. Whichever you want to learn, but as in UK, we always say use open source, open standard technologies. We don't want any licensing software. We don't want to give licensing cost to anyone. In UK government, all the UK development and government, we are using open source. I can say at least 95% I can say. 5% which are legacy software, we are trying to remove them also. Using public cloud, all the data is on public cloud, not on private, not on premise. So trying to reduce the cost to the government. So it's again different area, different application areas for each. Both may use big data. Algorithms are same, outputs are same, outcomes are different. So what tools you use that will help you to easily, efficiently provide the information which the business wants from you. Opportunities, just to give you big numbers. China is spending around up to $30 billion. UK is $1 billion. France, USA. India is also around $557 billion by 2035. This is from B.A.M's report. How far or how true it is, and I have to go by the data which the B.A.M's report has given. Hopefully, this may work. There is a lot of opportunities. Just to say this from this slide is that huge opportunities are there. Huge opportunities for job, for entrepreneurship, to start your own. They are there. So you can utilize them. Current challenges which we have, AI machine learning, it remains a black box. Why we call it a black box? Because people still don't have the confidence what's going inside the machine. That if I am getting something out of it, do I have confidence that yes, I can believe that it's true? People still don't have that much confidence in the machines. It's because of a couple of reasons. One is data and algorithm bias. As I told you earlier, that how I capture the data, because machine is based on learning. Like we learn from childhood a particular language, Punjabi or Hindi or English, and we can communicate. And similarly machine, and we know how to communicate. Okay, this is my uncle, this is my aunt, this is my teacher, this is my mother, father, brother, sister. So we can distinguish. Because slowly we started learning from the childhood that, okay, this is how we communicate. That's same with the machine. think of the machine as the same child who is building its own data, own information, knowledge inside, and then it can respond to you. And initially the information is less, so that results which it will give you out may not be correct. But as the data grows along with it, then the machine will say, oh, this happens. Like, give you an example. You buy something from Amazon or Flipkart or Snapdeal or anywhere. And when you buy the first thing, it starts giving you the similar options. So today you have bought a computer, a USB, then clothes, then something else, then something else. As the year pass by, you have bought hundreds of things. Then the machine has data about you. That, oh, this person buys these things. Right? So then it can start giving you better options. But initially, it may not be giving you the better option. Because every time you are not going to buy a computer every day. You have bought it once, that's it. So it has to increase its database, the knowledge behind it. So that's where, like in videos or photographs or a marketplace, you buy something, you see kind of a movie video, it gives you those kind of videos again and again and again. You may not be. Today you may be seeing a comedy, tomorrow you might like a tragedy or action movie or something. But when you see everything, then the machine knows, oh, this person has an interest in these areas also. So that's where the data has to grow. That you need to know that, okay, I have to build that database before I start predicting, giving you the results. Otherwise my results are wrong. And algorithm bias is that if I have to train a machine to fail other people of a certain kind of community or a religion, I can train the machine and it will immediately reject all the CVs of those particular traits and select for particular trait. So how will you overcome that? So that's why the first thing, machine learning remains a black box. You have to bring that trust in the people that this machine is going to give you the actual results. It's not biased. It's not skewed results. It's not trained to do this. It is giving you the complete results based on actual data. So that's where you have to build that trust of customers, people, citizens, to believe that the machines will do the right. So that confidence, that person may be biased, because I can see physically a person and I may become a biased. Oh, this person is not from my religion or this, that. But machine cannot distinguish unless it is trained in that way. Right? So machine can be very rational, but again build that database. Integrity of the data, you need to check the data that yes, it is good data, validated data. It's not fake data which is being fed into the machine. Actual data, so that it can give you the correct results. Data imbalance, you need to remove. Again, as I said, if I have to have overall structure, that this area, this thing, I want to study about characteristics of the people of Punjab, then I have to have this complete data within the organization. So which means I need to think of whole of Punjab, get sample from whole of Punjab, and then start giving my results or my opinion. Machines will start doing after that once I have tested it. Right? So that's where the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, those things come into play. And still, the resources are still costly. If you have to do large-scale computing, large-scale data analysis, it's still costly, but its cost is coming down. That's why the next 5 to 10 years are very encouraging years, because cost of hardware, computing power will come down, and the use will increase. Stages, this is a very good prediction by Gartner, that how we analyze a problem. If you have to take any problem into AI machine learning, classify the problem. Basically, again, you need to prioritize what you want to do. I have an issue in an organization, in the government, which I want to resolve. There may be 10 things, but prioritize which is the most important thing. I want to increase my profit, I want to decrease my losses, and so on, whatever you want to do. You need to think of which is the most prioritized one. Take that one problem, acquire the data according to that problem, and then process that data, then model the problem. You will see how you model the problem, and then validate it, and then deploy that model so that it can go on continuous learning. So next stage is, you always say, unless it's a continuous learning model, the model will fail. It's the same thing as we are in technology. Every 6 months, new technology comes. It's a very fast change. If you also don't learn, you are in a field. Computer science is one field where you become obsolete within 6 months if you don't upgrade yourself also. Like any phone model, every 6 months to a year, new model comes. Samsung, iPhone, any other Xiaomi, B.A.M, whatever there are, new models come. The previous model is of same is with you. If you don't learn and upgrade yourself to new technology, new things, you may be obsolete. So continuous learning, put that into your mind, that I have to continuously learn throughout my life. If you don't bring that thing into your mind now, it will be difficult. I'm not against, there are less changes in other engineering fields. Electronics and computer science have very quick changes nowadays. So that's where you need to think of, okay, I have to update myself, I have to continuously learn. Otherwise, nobody will be happy to have you within the organization. So think from that angle. Admission learning हो दिया, पर actual खुद शुरू होना है. You need to continuously learn and upgrade yourself. If you don't do it, you will lose the opportunities. Theory, the actual theoretical knowledge which you get during your diploma or engineering classes, that's the base, or you can say that's the foundation, right? यानी कि जितनी बिल्डिंग अच्छी करनी हो ना, फाउंडेशन उतनी डीप होनी चाहिए. Pretty simple जी criteria. Same is with you. Have your foundation very very strong, and then you can build a high-rise building on top of that. ये नहीं हो सकता कि deep नहीं है, मेरी deep knowledge नहीं है, मेरा base ही strong नहीं है, मैं grow नहीं कर पा रहा. But a simple logic है to do that. जितना पढ़ोगे, जितना deep जाओगे, कोई भी subject, whichever interests you. I'm not forcing you to take AI machine learning. Whichever interests you. If you are interested in hardware, go into hardware. But that should be coming from your heart, right? So do it with full heart, and success will follow. So that's where we say continuous learning. You have created a model which should continuously learn about your traits, or whatever data, and then try to update itself. So there are three things in artificial intelligence: machine learning and deep learning. Deep learning is a complete subset of, it's a multi-layered approach. As in image recognition, speech recognition, whichever you want to say. It's a very small subset of machine learning. And based on machine learning, you create a machine which can communicate This is the kind of data which you generate every day. 3.6 quintillion bytes. How much is quintillion? Any guess? 10 raised to power 36 on a small scale and 10 raised to power 72 on a large scale. It's me and you, everyone generates that. Just to show you, every minute of the day, number of Google searches 5.7 million per minute. Right? The above one is per minute and below one is the per day. WhatsApp messages 41.7 million. TikTok videos 167 million. Every minute. Now you can imagine where the data is coming from. Right? So Facebook message, Instagram, email, YouTube videos. मैं बस इतना ही कहूँगा, data is generated by you, right? By me. We are using एक बारी analyze करना अपने आप में. YouTube भी देखते हैं, Facebook भी देखते हैं और सब कुछ कर रहे हैं. Just analyze. थोड़े फोन से screen time आ जाता है. किधर से तुसी कितनी देर रहे हैं? एक बारी एनालाइज करना खुद को क्यों 4 घंटे चो या 6 घंटे जितनी देर तुसी ऑनलाइन रहे क्योंकि हम क्लासेस भी ऑनलाइन है आई डोंट डिनाई दैट कितनी देर तुसी YouTube वीडियोस ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਕੰਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫालतू ਦੀਆਂ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ TikTok ਵੀਡੀਓਸ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ ਫालतू ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲ ਕੰਮ it will give you a perspective of yourself. Internet can be used both ways. It's a very good learning tool also, but it is also a very good tool to waste time. I can go on watching Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and I can spend whole day. And same is, I can spend learning. There are so many good YouTube videos to learn. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਬਾਹਰਲੀਆਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਟਾਕਸ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ so if you are spending that time I don't deny I'm not saying ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੂਵੀਜ਼ ਨਾ ਦੇਖੋ ਜਾਂ ਖੇਲੋ ਨਾ ਗੇੜੀ ਰੂਟ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ do those things also they are also one part of your life but balance shift ਕਰੋ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਰ ਲਿਓ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਖੁਦ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਚ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਡੇਟਾ ਮੇਰਾ we are all generating this data and this data is coming from there is an organization which does this analysis B.A.M. data volume they call it so this data is taken from this their side every year they publish that data the latest one I have given you for 2021 this is from 2021 B.A.M.org is the site. So they publish every year the data and they do all kind of analysis on it. So please analyze yourself also that how much screen time you are using for learning and how much you are spending for other activities. I'm not saying don't do those activities. Entertainment is also an important part of your life. Playing is also important part of your life, but you need to make a balance. तो सिर्फ कर अपने आप थोड़ी लाइफ से चेंज आएगा वो कहते हैं if you want to change the outcome change the way you work if you are doing the same thing and still expect the outcome to be different it may not be it will not be it will never be if you want the outcome to be different you have to change your ways of working in that context. And so what we say always is choose the algorithm learning system based on the goal. There are different algorithms which are there. You have used prediction models all those things so based on the goal what you want to achieve there are learning system based on the goal the learn about them. Then we call based on the model. Based on the goal are regression analysis, predictive analysis, clustering, aggregation, all those stuff will come into play. There are different models to develop. You can use whichever model you want to use. There are different models within the AI machine learning, and you can use whichever model you like. Supervised learning, unsupervised learning, decision trees, hidden Markov model. There are so many things are available to you. Job assignment techniques, transportation problem, probably you have studied or you may be studying in the future. So there are simplex programming. I can go on naming multiple things, but I don't want to. I want to you to be now inquisitive on this thing. Oh, he has said this. Let me search for this. That's why I have not given you the names. I want you to be quite enthusiastic. Oh, I have to see what is this. I'll go and search for this. That's where you will learn more. Then based on learning, which I said, supervised, unsupervised, active, proactive learning, passive learning, whatever. There are different techniques available to you. Then there are platforms. I have just given you the names. IBM Watson is the first one in machine which was there. Very good machine. Still, it's one of the best machines in the world of AI machine learning, which we always say. Google has come up, Amazon is there. There are so many other platforms. Whichever you want, you can use that. I'm not saying use one. Whichever you feel confident, use that, or whichever is available to you. So it's up to you which you want to use. So please, downloadable libraries are available. Use it. Now is the time to do. Sit in the lab, do programming, start learning, start creating small things. Oh, I want to do this kind of programming. I want to create this kind of game. Or I want to do this. Can the machine answer like this? Start training those models, and you will start learning more. Then open source. Without open source, I can't skip because we are so strong supporters of using open source technologies. Use open source technology as much as you can. Don't fall into the licensing software. It will be costly. These are free to use. Use them. You can download, install it in your machines. Use them. Right? So try to use maximum open source. But if that is you are not confident, there are so many open source communities which are available to you to help also. Be member of that. If you are not able to solve a problem, put into that community, they will answer you immediately. There are so many experts across the world who are working on similar things. In the vendor system, it may not be possible. Like if I'm using a Microsoft system or a Oracle or any other, they may not respond. But here is a community of people who are available every day to you. So software, probably you have used Lisp and Prolog was the oldest one in the C++ or C++, MATLAB, Perl, Java, whichever you feel confident. I'm not recommending anyone, but whichever you feel confident. Think from the future. That's why I'm saying Python, Java, R, C++, but they may be better to be used. It's up to you. Your future is in your hand. Nobody else is driving your future. Teacher can come, guide you, but the steps you have to take and be there, right? Unless you move, so it's your career. You are young, you have energy, spend the time in learning. 24 घंटे ये सारे को 24 घंटे पढ़ना भी है, रात भी साढ़े को है कि मैं पार्टी करके ख़त्म कर ला कि मैं पढ़ के कर ला। मैं नहीं कहता पार्टियाँ ना करो, बट वो भी जरूरी है, पार्ट दैट वी आर आल्सो पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ, बट यू कैन नीड मॉडरेशन कर। हाँ मैं एक दिन हफ्ते में खुद इंजॉय करना, दैट्स फाइन। मैं वर्क हार्ड पार्टी हार्ड। मैं एक दिन हफ्ते में मैं किताबा वाचनी हूँ, दैट्स फेयर एनफ, बट बी ऑनेस्ट टू योर कॉन्शियसनेस। क्यों एक दे दो दिन हो जाए, या मैं जी एक घंटा रोज घूमना है तो अपने माइंड वास्ते कोई घंटे तो दो ना हो, फिर एक ही रहे। एक बड़ा होता है कि मैं तो घर के काम करने पाएंगे तो यार बाहर सारे अनुसार अपने काम आप ही करने चाहते हैं। बीइंग ए सिविल सर्वेंट आल्सो ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇ ਸਿਵਲ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਦੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬੜੀ ਐਸ਼ ਹੈ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਸਿਵਲ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਸੀ, ਕੋਈ ਐਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਕੋਈ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ, ਪੀਐਨ ਮਿਲ ਗਏ, ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ। ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਬੈਗ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਚੁੱਕਣਾ, टाइपिंग में खुद ही करना, मेरे को कोई टाइपिस्ट नहीं है। Even my boss, who is a cabinet secretary person, reporting to PM, they have one BA shared by 4 of them. Right? So it's you who have to work. मुझे तो कोई मेड नहीं मिलनी काम करेंगे, ना डब्बा मिलना बाहरों, दूसरा फोन कितना घर आ गया मुझे ना बड़ा इजी है। I'm not saying it is not available, but it will be too expensive. You can do once in a while. सारे उत्थे भी काम कर रहे हैं, इत्थे भी कुछ नहीं कर रहे, तो चीज़ की एक्सक्यूज नहीं होता मैं पढ़ गया या मैं पढ़ गई, मैं वो भांडे नहीं मांजने, मैं वो नहीं करना, खुद भी वो चीज़ है। पता नहीं क्यों साढ़े से मेंटालिटी आ गई कि मैं अपना काम करने की शर्म करने लग गया। जी मैं मुंडा है तो मैं रसोई च नहीं जाना, मैं सब्जी नहीं कटनी, मैं सब्जी नहीं बनानी, बाहर जाके वो सारे काम करते हैं। इत्थे क्यों नहीं होंगे? अपनी माँ की हेल्प, अपनी सिस्टर की हेल्प, अपनी वाइफ की हेल्प क्यों नहीं हो सकती? चेंज योर माइंडसेट। बाहर जाके असी करने को तैयार है। इत्थे कहते को वाले मुंडे मैं उत्थे बिल्डिंग वर्क करते देखे है, क्लीनिंग वर्क करते देखे है, टैक्सियां चलाए इत्थे नहीं हो सकता। चलो इत्थे मैं मानना कि सोसाइटी थोड़ा जिहा प्रेशर पा देंगे, थोड़ा मुंडा जी आ करता, थोड़ी कुड़ी आ कर रही है, बट इफ यू ब्रेक दैट टैबू इत्थे भी कोई कुछ नहीं करता। सो प्लीज एक अपने आप में विचता लैके आओ कि जो मैं काम बाहर जाके भी करने हैं तो मैं इत्थे क्यों नहीं कर लेना। मैं नहीं कहता बाहर ना जाओ, मैं भी नहीं कहूँगा, go on a sound footing, go learn, go there and work in a white collar shop over there. उत्थे जाके जो ट्रक ही चलाना तो फिर मैं नहीं कहता जॉब माड़ी है, but why? If you have studied hard, work in the area which is your forte, right? So please ये वाली चीज़ में माइंड च रखा करो कि मैं हार्ड वर्क का कोई रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है, कोई भी रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं। किसी ने भी ला लेना, you take from Steve Jobs to Microsoft's Bill Gates, others, they have worked hard. I don't know whether you have seen that video from Steve Jobs, where he has given a convocation speech at Stanford University. 15 मिनट दी है पूरी स्पीच, सुनने वाली है। जो नहीं YouTube पे देख रहे हो, just put Steve Jobs convocation speech at Stanford University. 15 मिनट दी है। I will give you 3 points which he has given in that, but listen to his full speech. बहुत ही बढ़िया है, बड़ी सिंपल जी है। कहना कि जब he joined a university, he dropped out of the university, he learned calligraphy, which became how he used it in the Apple computer. Then he was fired from his own company, Apple, which he started, we were fired from that company. Can you imagine? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ company start to ਤੁਹਾਡੀ company ਤੇ ਕੱਟਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ. And in California or in Silicon Valley, that's a shame. And it's a public shame. Coming out of that and starting Pixar studio, which is now #1 animation studio in Hollywood. And then he rejoined Apple again. Then came the iPhone, other things and so on. Then he had gone into pancreatic cancer. He said, that's the way he learned how close the gap is. And think of that if today is my last day, what should I do? ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਸਾਡੀ death ਕਦੋਂ ਆਉਣੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ. If today is your last day, what will you do? And then he said, very, very simple thing. I will finish with that also. He said, stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry for the knowledge. And stay foolish to learn new things. जिन्नी देर तुसीं ये रखोगे अपने आप, be humble to learn. किसे तो भी learn कर सकते हो. मैंने कोई है नहीं कि मैं आया लेक्चर देके आया. मैं आज शायद मैं कुछ नवा लर्न कर जाऊँ. मैं मेरी नॉलेज में शायद किसी को कुछ प्रेरणा मिल जाए. So it's just sharing that knowledge, skills. So stay hungry, stay foolish. Hungry for knowledge, foolish to learn new things. Very powerful words. So वही मैं यूज़ कर रहा हूँ. मैं अपने कोई वर्ड नहीं यूज़ कर रहा कि लर्न करो, जितना लर्न कर सकते हो. टाइम्स उससे स्पेंड करो कि मैं ग्रो अप करा, कितना ग्रो अप करा. मैं टाइम ला रहा, पेरेंट्स पैसे ला रहे हैं, कोई भी ला रहे हैं, तो बिल्कुल कर रहे हैं. You are your own master of your destiny. किस तरह चलाना पड़े थे. So that's where the last slide I just put databases, how you select the databases onto speed, scalability, open source. You will see in that. There are other slides, but I won't go into those details. One is where, how much time is spent in each area. Data scientist is required in each and every field. Want to be a data scientist? Start learning those tools and things like that. This was a case study. I will just say, which we say how we have moved in the robotic process automation. One is evidence-based, one is judgment-based. So we are moving to judgment-based now. Machines are deciding, and that's where the new things have come up into play. And this is again in robotic process automation. It's not a physical robot, it's a workflow robot, software robot, working to improve banking, improve financial, improve other areas in citizen services which we are trying to use now. These are the kind of big figures are there, $9 trillion people are trying to invest. And I implemented RPA in one of the banks. $6 million was the budget. We saved the bank $9.5 million in the first year. And year on year, that's it from my side. Any questions? Or do we have time for that? Many others, automation anywhere, this is another. But for this bank, we have used B.A.M because they had some tie-up with them, so we could not use UiPath. But in government sector, in UK government services, I'm using UiPath. And automation anywhere, and we have some of the processes. We have process is automated using robots. So all the business services which are repetitive processes which it doesn't require any human intervention. Why we need to put a human over there? Replace that with a robot which can do the same thing. Any other? Dr. Samir, thank you very much.
Highly acknowledge your percipient talks and outlook regarding how these cure the wit of humans. Like you mentioned that we humans have the tendency to shade the truth and reveled in data generated by these machines, and how eminent the trade-offs are in our diurnal lives so that we keep thriving on the professional as well as personal front. Steering the event forward, I would now prefer an exemplary and concise account of a wizard, our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Taran Singh Kamal, former Vice President, Institution of Engineers, Life Member, Indian Science Congress Association. His impeccable research profile, subsuming salient discoveries in the domain of electronics and communication, bespeaks his extraordinary prescience. With his gamut of research papers published in the well-acclaimed international journals, as well as presented in the international conferences, he has carved a niche for himself in the world of academicians. Because the visionaries' personal magnetism and enthusiasm are contagious, highly contagious, I request revered Dr. Tara Singh Kamal to introduce Indian Institution of Engineers India and release the seminar proceedings and give his perceptive talk so that we all observers entrench his rigor in our frame of mind. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I most respected Chairman of Technical State Sector, Engineer S.S. Bundiji, Honorary Secretary Dr. Baljeet Singh Khaira, Principal of the Associating Engineer in this college, B.A.M. Khalsa College. Dr. Inder Singh Ji Chandu, we are thankful to you for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of honor, and Professor Kamal Palwant Singh Ji, the convener of the seminar, are doing the very good work. Dr. Jagtar Singh, Canada Local Center Chairman, and Engineer J.S. Deolji, Honorary Secretary of Canada Local Center, and all the Supreet is there, faculty member of the B.A.M. College, students, and corporate members, our very important people are sitting on this on this row. Dr. Malgir, Sir, then D. We are thankful to you for gracing this occasion today. Especially I am thankful to the students. Today, first of all, I will congratulate Punjab and Chandigarh State Center Committee here to have this first offline physical seminar in auditorium here after 2 years, long period. I heartily congratulate to the team headed by Mr. Engineer Digi members. Then we used to here there is a cadre which was known as the Indian Civil Services. They were sent, the servants were sent from UK. The competition was going to be held there, and yes. And today we have a person, we have sent a person from India to the civil services of UK, Dr. Jandu. We are very much proud of you, being the product of the Chandigarh and the B.A.M of Chandigarh courses, especially I am protected. I have been told by the Secretary Saab just to tell something about the institution of engineers. Institution of engineers is a city. This is an organization of the qualified engineers and those who are working there. This institution was established in 1920 in Madras as a society. And first group of the students, those who appeared in this of distance education type of thing, the AMI, there were only 5 students in 1922-23. After that, because those people, they were feeling something that they are lacking. The people, those who were the diploma holders, they were doing the job, but there was no avenue for promotion. And normally, you have the, what we used to call efficiency bar. Once, still they have in the departments, commerce, accounts examination, so many other examination, and departmentally they pass and they get the promotion. Similarly, this was centrally organized organization which conducted the examination, and people were declared to be fit to be promoted for the higher post, even best post to the assistant engineer, all those things. Then, along with this activity which we are doing today, that is also part of that. There are 4 or 5 types of this activities. One is World Congress. See, all over the world, and you can participate, and the theme is wide open. It's not only one topic, there are many topics, many different type of things, environment, sustainable, that thing. Then there is a international conference also. There you fix up a theme, then you go. Then there are seminars as we have today. But one more thing is, which is the symposium. In each conference, in each seminar, etc., there is a symposium. You can say, you can fix up one topic, small topic, and they will discuss it. Here also, which we call it now, the tracks, track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. This is called the symposium, that type of thing. Now, you have a conference, you have the activities. You know, you have, daily you have the seminars, conference. When you go to the class to teach, for teaching, there is communication from the teacher. Here, when you call the seminar, then you invite the experts, those who have been working in that field. They can give you the new information to you. And there may be Chopper Ustam, students, scholars, those who are doing equally good. Now, one thing, let it be very clear that person standing here is not always better than this side. There may be person sitting in this side also who knows, who can challenge and say something, who can discuss. Because every person is not perfect. Every person is not perfect. Now, when as a teacher for the last 50 years, I say that as a teacher, you call me, this is my profession, but I am still a student. Even today I am a student, I am seeking that there may be somebody here also who can give a new idea, who can teach today also. Once you are presenting paper in the seminar, in the symposium, and anything, if somebody asks a question, don't feel disheartened. Because the person who is doing work may not be perfect. He is doing work in he. There may be other questions. Now, take it in a positive sense. Try to note down the question. It means the person who asked a question has given you a chance to work for one more research paper you can write in it. Once you finish your work, normally you write, this is the scope for the future work. Means you can send it. Because if you say that I have completed this research, it means that research is closed on that thing, but which is not possible. The whole thing is very, very vast field is here. So once we discuss the present paper, try to have a person sitting in the audience also, so that within a session, please go and noting the further question they ask me, then I can answer. Not here, and next research paper I can do it. So that message is for the authors, those who are present, will be presenting the paper today and tomorrow. And they will be giving something and they will be taking it on something which is a knowledge. Because people say, if you have money, you spend it and don't earn, it will finish. But this is the knowledge part. If you discuss, it will go on increasing. It will not finish. This will never finish. Apart jana hai. Won't. Even big scientists, I will not name, you will guess it. Said, that somebody said, you are doing great work. I said, no, I am just collecting the pebbles on the seashore. You don't know what is there in the depth of the sea, ocean. So, we are to take any criticism, academic criticism also as a positive. We are not to feel that no, that person has asked me question and probably he could know. Once he is asking the question, technical question to you, he is helping you for future research. I had a student, he had to submit the thesis. I was telling him, this is what is enough. But you, no sir, I want to do this thing, I want to do this. Then ultimately I said, you finish today here and mark this person for your students, they will do this work for you. And you will guide. So there is no end to the research work. You can extend to any, but you are to be sure that once somebody asks a question, don't be disheartened that this question I could not answer. But You can say sometimes there is something comes, the boy in the school, he fails one subject. Somebody, many people came and asked the teacher that why he did not. Then the question was, what subject you teach? Mathematics. Do you know English grammar? Do you know history of? Because there are limitations. Everybody cannot be perfect. You cannot say that such and such person is complete. He is better, complete, perfect teacher or perfect student. It is the comparatives. This is standard. You don't know people. You cannot put absolute. This is the. So again I come back to the topic that when you present your paper, you are to be very careful and you are to have your person or yourself. You can also note down that this is a question, this is answer, he asked it, I am to answer this. So never be disheartened and try to be a student. Every day you are a student. I am a student still today. You don't know who may be the teacher here who may answer this, give me now. So that is the second part of the institution of engineers to conduct the other side again. We have very good, almost this infrastructure you have seen in Chandigarh. Others also they are improving because I will congratulate again of the chairman. This is the best maintained state center. But other states also they have their buildings, they have their facilities, and they conduct the examination. Everything is they do, and I don't think anything else to be said. Set this up. Once again, I wish these 2 days seminar you will present the good papers and will bring out some recommendations which we can recommend to the headquarters or to the quarter concerned, or to the maybe the Vindor Education Department, anywhere, wherever you feel fit. And I wish the seminar a great success, and again wish that the cooperation between the institution of engineers and this college, because this is the first time that they but you cannot call it engineering college. So this college has you can say a link between the institution of engineers and this college, and it's very successful. I think seminar is going to be held. Once again, now I congratulate our honorary secretary, which is the principal of the college. I think so far as the topic discussed by our Dr. Janduji, I could find the very good response from the audience. It was not that everybody was responding what we said, so there is no need to discuss again. It's a wonderful lecture, and she has done it. It is a good experience of the Indians and UK. Good work. And again, I congratulate the where is your proceedings? Okay. Good number of papers, quality papers have been received. I congratulate ready to congratulate editorial core bringing out this book series and so congratulations and thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Express my sincere gratitude to Professor Dr. Tara Singh Kamal, our worthy chief guest, for his purposeful words devoted to this top-tier educational hub and the lessons that every question posited to the preceptor, either during the classroom session, teaching, or the presentation of papers in the conference of the seminars, mirrors the potential area of research really pursued. Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead. A principal is reckoned as the mainstay of every college. He insufflates ethical values, righteous perspective, and analytical disposition among his votaries. Now, I would like to invite such a leading light and a distinguished mind who evinces all these qualities, our revered principal, Dr. Baljeet Singh, for proposing vote of thanks.
Honorable Dr. T.S. Kamal, Vice President, Institution of Engineer India, Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. Ravinder Singh Jandu, Civil Servant, Consulting, Technical Architect, Cabinet Office, Central Digital and Data Office, London, UK, Guest of the Honor of the Day, Engineer S.S. Mundi, Chairman, Institution of Engineer Punjab and Chandigarh State Centre, Professor Kanwar Kulwant Singh, Convener of the Seminar, Council Member, Committee Member, Institution of Engineer Punjab and Chandigarh State Centre, Principals, faculty members, students of the various institutes, good afternoon to all of you. On the behalf of Institution of Engineer Punjab and Chandigarh State Centre and B.A.M. Khalsa College Garhshankar, I express my gratitude to the Honorable Dr. T.S. Kamal. I thank you, sir, for you being the chief guest on this occasion. I fully appreciate you, sir, for finding the time to be with us. My precious thanks to Dr. Jandu for accepting our request to become guest of honor for this occasion, and also to deliver the keynote address for All India Seminar on Business Intelligence and Intelligent Computing. I thank Dr. Jandu for the excellent speech he delivered today and providing huge amount of knowledge related to the intelligent computing, machine learning, different model of machine learning, supervised model, unsupervised model, convolution neural network, and also motivate us and remember us our responsibilities. I mention my sincere sense of gratitude to Engineer S.S. Mundi for providing a platform to jointly organize this seminar with B.A.M. Khalsa College, Darshankar. I also thankful to Dr. Kanwar Kulwant Singh, Dr. Janki Agarwal, Dr. Ajay Datta, Professor Gurpreet Singh Kalsi, and all the members of the organizing team for their sincere effort to organize the seminar. I also thank Principal Dr. Harmandeep Singh, guilty member, and students of Bibhishan Kaur Khalsa College, Shri Chamkaur Sahib, for their active participation. I express my hearty gratitude to Dr. Jagtar Singh Sivia, Chairman, Local Center Bathinda, Engineer J.S. Deol, Secretary, Local Center Bathinda, Dr. J.S. Ubi, Professor Slight Longowal, Dr. Balkrishan Jindal, Head of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Yad Mindra College of Engineering and Technology, Tulwandi Sabo, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Baba Banda Singh Bahadur Engineering College, Fatehgarh Sahib, and Dr. Balgir Singh are corporate members and committee members for their contribution and support. At the last but not least, I once again thankful to all the delegates, organizing team members, paper reviewers, session chairpersons, paper presenters, and participants for their contribution. I am confident this seminar will be very beneficial for us, for our society, and for our nation. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir, for the words of appreciation. Before we conclude this first phase of seminar, we are going to play National Anthem, and I appeal to all the luminaries and spectators to stand and venerate this moment. Appeal the congregation to join luncheon that is going to take place in the Sekhon Hall, located at the entrance of this institution. Thank you very much.
ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੋ ਖੋਲੋ ਨਾ